battleship locked. Fast reload activated. Enemy torpedoes spotted. Good job. Fast reload activated. Our team is about to win. An enemy ship. Good job. Target the enemy. Fast reload activated. Target hit. We're hit. We're under attack. We hit the enemy. We're hit. The situation is under control. We're hit. Nice shot. We're under attack. Good job. We're hit. We're under attack.
And so yes, we made it, but we are going to get deleted by that SX with his guns because we will not be able to rotate our guns quickly enough. So there you go, end of the gameplay for me with the Hizen. Let's take a look at its stats. Is it any good? Let's find out. And so here it is, brand new tier 9 Japanese battleship, premium battleship, in a tier where you already have the Missouri, excellent, the Musashi, absolutely brutal, and the Pommern a bit special. How does it compare to the others? Well, first of all, in terms of survivability, you can see that it's actually very, very poor. Only you will take 68% of the damage coming to you. That's comparable with the Amagi survivability 3 minutes 23. That's even worse than the Izumo, and certainly nothing to compare with the Musashi and the Pommern, who are actually quite close to the 5 minutes mark. So yeah, the Hizen is a very fragile and weak battleship. Maneuverability pretty average as well, comparable with the Izumo, nowhere near the Missouri. So yep, the ship needs all the help it can get to actually move and dodge and preposition on the battlefield. So that's something that you want to prioritize with your equipment setup. The guns, 12-41 centimeter guns, same number of guns as the Pommern and the Alsace, but the accuracy is a little bit better, 67% comparable with the Missouri, but you do not get precise aiming, you do get rapid reload 1, unfortunately. Why unfortunately? Because you couple that with the reload of 25 seconds, and that means that you basically need the master reloader skill to be able to fire to salvo under your rapid reload, so you are not going to be able to fit your Japanese commanders on the Hizen. You will need to train a new commander for that ship. That's not very nice. And basically the DPM is very good, 18,500. That's slightly below the Izumo comparable with the Missouri. Keep in mind that it's still the old 4.3 Izumo. I haven't retested it with the increased pen and accuracy, but still 18,000. It's a very Japanese ship, so very poor protection and very good damage. Secondaries, you get 6 155mm guns in 2 turrets, actually 3 across the ship, but they can barely fire forward, so it's not like the Musashi where you can get 6 and sometimes 9 guns on target, and that's very good secondaries. It's actually pretty average in that area. And auto secondaries, well, there is nothing to see here. 15,000 DPMs comparable with the Musashi, no torpedoes, and finally the AA values, they're a little bit better than the other Japanese ships, but yeah, you are not going to stop any planes with that one. And so yes, new UI, what do we have on the enemy team? Yamato, Iowa, Des Moines, St. Louis. Pretty good matchmaking for us, just be careful for the Essex and the Yamato. Des Moines and St. Louis and the Iowa we can pen no problem, because yeah, you haven't seen that in the stat section, but the DPS is actually lower on that ship than it is on the Izumo, although it's supposed to have similar guns. And so basically, what are we left with? We are left with the ship that has an absolutely awful survivability. 12 guns that you can get on target, but no secondaries to back that up at short range. So it's essentially a tier 9 Amagi. That's probably the closest thing I can compare it with. And so just like the Amagi, except you don't have precise aiming, you will rely on mid-range engagements. You have no incentive to get close, and you cannot really trade at range, because your armor will simply not be able to protect you. And here the first thing we absolutely have to do is to locate that Yamato, that's number 1. And thing 2, we absolutely have to remain behind the other battleships, because if the Essex decides to target us, we are going to be burning just fine. And so I'm positioning myself with the team. There's a Musashi that I'm going to follow. I'm also going to be camping behind that Alsace, and certainly that is the first target for me. That ship is absolutely brilliant against other cruisers. That's the primary target, I would say softer battleships and other cruisers, because you will be getting those 12 guns on target. You've seen that it's actually quite accurate, even without precise aiming, and you can deal a tremendous amount of damage. So really, if you are in a cruiser and you see that thing in front of you, be really careful, because it can hit you from from very long range, and you will take a lot of damage. There you go, 6 another 6 hits on that Des Moines, and we have actually taken quite a substantial part of its health. And while we were actually targeting that Des Moines, we noticed that the Iowa was coming to the left, so the one in front of me is the Yamato. And I'm going to position myself right actually next to that island, because that will allow me to retreat if the Yamato decides to focus. I'm also going to be bow tanking in that direction, because I do not want to be his favorite target. A Yamato is going to punch through your armor like it's butter, and really you have to watch out for that, absolutely. So the team decides to stay on the outer ring. I decide to to tell the team to cap the inner ring, but yeah, it takes me forever with the new UI and the small buttons. It's really not easy. I hope they fix that quite soon. And we are in an ideal position, because we have the 2 cruisers in front of us. The Iowa on the left, we are in a position to be hitting him with the full broadside, and the 2 DDs are not really coming out. So for the moment it's quite good for us. So let's see what our guns can do against that Iowa. We should be able to pen him absolutely no problem. Boom, there you go, nice salvo. And we dodge the torpedoes from the EU DDs. Simply, we never stand still, always move forwards, backwards, left and right. Make it as complicated as you can for them to be targeting you. And we're going to be using our rapid reload. I'm playing with a commander equipped with the master reloader skill. It's one of the perks of having a press account. You can retrain your commander very easily. Boom, there you go, bye bye Iowa. And yeah, you see at that range, 5 hits and end of the Iowa. And now we do have the preferred situation with the Hizen, a cruiser coming at mid-range right in front of our guns under rapid reload. Let's see what we can do to that St. Louis. half health gone. So that ship is absolutely brutal in that kind of circumstances. The Yamato is in front of us, but it's busy with the Alsace, so we are pretty safe, and we can actually see if we can punch the Des Moines as well. Yup, and there you see me make a mistake, because the Des Moines was my favorite, should have been my target. I should have punched him in the face while I had the opportunity, because really that's my priority target. And now it's time to push. Only 3 ships on the enemy team. We can actually go towards the center and cap it so fairly easily. Notice that I'm actually drifting to the left. I do not want to come anywhere near the Yamato without support. Even if there are only 3 ships on the enemy team, he will be deleting me, no problem. You see the issue with the secondaries here, they take forever to get on target, still not on target, there you go, only now, too late to be hitting that destroyer, so really do not rely on your secondaries with that thing. Yeah, because the firing forward is really too limited. So it's really dangerous to be relying on them. You really have to be showing full broadside to be able to use them. And that's not something that I recommend with that ship in any circumstance. Because remember, 68% armor, you will take almost all of the damage that is actually coming to you. So let's see if we can commit with a nice salvo to that Des Moines. Because yeah, that you're gonna see you have to be full broadside to be firing your secondaries. And we should be able to hit him. Let's see if we... Oh, thank you, Musashi. So really, softer battleships like the Iowa, the Amagi, that kind of things, heavy cruisers, light cruisers, anything that's a little bit lighter, you will be able to pen absolutely no problem and cause massive amounts of damage. But now we are left with the one target that we can barely damage. And second can actually go through our armor like butter, it's the Yamato. Hopefully I'm not able to be facing him with 2 DDs and a Musashi. I think we will be alright, but really that's absolutely the kind of engagements that you want to avoid, and you actually saw me positioning myself to be avoiding that kind of circumstances. And so it should be coming in our general direction. There you go, there it is. Let's see what we can deal. Let's see if we can deal some damage at him from that range, because yeah, it's actually quite long range, 12 kilometers. Yeah, we do manage to get a couple of nice pens on the superstructure of that Yamato. Unfortunately, he's able to fire back with only 6 guns, and we lose 12,000 hit points. Yeah, so yeah, if you take a salvo, a precise aiming salvo from the 9 guns of that thing at any range, you will get absolutely deleted. So do not count on it anywhere. So there you go, we can actually deal some nice damage, and once we get within 8 or 10 kilometers, that is where the Hizen absolutely just shines. Yeah, the challenge is actually to get it in that kind of scenarios at tier 10, because it's not always easy, huh? I wanted to get some footage with overmount, but unfortunately I could not get that, and we will be punching through the armor of the Yamato there. Yep, so there you go, Hizen, very comparable with the Amagi, quite a lot of similarities between the 2 ships. Also in terms of playstyle, you saw it in a tier 10 match up there, you saw the advantages and disadvantages of the ship. Is it any good? Yes, it's actually quite good, quite nice to play. Unfortunately, you cannot put your Yamamoto on it or any Japanese battleship commander. That's quite a problem for me, first. And second, there is also another pretty good premium battleship at tier 9. It's the Musashi, who is also, just like the Hizen, an absolute monster at tier 8, can do really well at tier 9 and much better at tier 10. And the Musashi, it's basically a Yamato without precise aiming and much better secondaries. So yep, the Hizen for fans of the Amagi only. And overall a well-balanced, pleasant ship, unfortunately with quite a lot of competition at tier 9, even within the Japanese line. Yep, so there you go, that was my take on the Hizen. I hope you've enjoyed it, learned a couple of interesting things. Stay safe, take care, that was DeathFromAbove signing out, bye bye!